Ambazonia, land of freedom, usually reconciliate in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, usually reconciliate in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
It is not the critic who counts, not the cowards who point out how the strong man stumbles, or where those who do deeds, those who do the work could have done the work better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the field, the man whose face is distorted by dust and sweat and blood, the man who struggles to do things and in so doing commit errors, the man who struggles and comes up short again and again. Because, comrades, there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But the man who actually strives to do things, who knows great joy, enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spend all his energy in a worthy cause, the man who at the best knows that in the end he enjoys high triumph and achievement, and who at the worst, even if he fails, at least he would have failed daring to do great things, so that his place shall never be with those cold, timid, treacherous cowards, whose souls know neither victory nor defeat. Revolutionary greetings, my fellow Ambazonians. Good afternoon good evening, good morning, wherever in the world you find yourself today. To our captives in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon, una place day. To our refugees, internal and external, una place day. To our forces who daily stand between our dreams and our destiny and those who will rip it out of our hands, who stand between our defenseless people and the terrorist occupiers who come to burn our villages, rape our women, massacre the old and the young. To you, these liberation fighters, una place them day. And to our diasporan community, the nationalists, those who believe that though they are not in the front of the battle, they are at the front lines as nationalists of the Ambazonian nation. To these patriots, to these fellow comrades, una place day. Today, on this 16th day of February 2025, I come with a message of encouragement and hope, a message to our people, the Ambazonian people who once more demonstrated in no uncertain terms the absolute disgust and contempt that they harbor for La République du Cameroon's occupation. I want to thank our people for understanding the magnitude of what La République du Cameroon wanted to do on the 11th of February, for standing firmly with the flag of Ambazonia, for having the confidence in their leadership to be able to respond to the calls to stay at home on that day. If there were any people out there who still thought that La République holds any sway in the territories that it had occupied, the people of Ambazonia demonstrated that those claims were baseless, false, and unapplicable when it comes to the Ambazonian people. For their reaction, their tremendous respect on the lockdown day of Tuesday, 11th of February, we avoided a lot of unnecessary casualties from our people. We disarmed La République's use of our people as human shield. We prevented the wholesale slaughter of our people by La République du Cameroon, who would have used the images to try to score propaganda points in the world by saying that the Ambazonian liberation fighters killed their own people. In our reaction, in our acceptance of the calls, in our acceptance of the leadership of Ambazonia, he scored such a victory that the terrorist occupiers in Yaoundé could not bury their head far enough into the sand to avoid shame. Egg was all over their faces. From their internal enablers, the traitors in our land who accept money to go and try to bribe our people to throw away their life. We embarrassed them. We bloody humiliated them. And showed not only to Ambazonian and those traitors in our land, but showed to La République du Cameroon and the world that their claims to ownership of Ambazonia was as flimsy as their bank account is turning out to be. My fellow Ambazonians, your liberation fighters, the army of Ambazonia deployed in strength the weekend of 11th of February through the 11th of February, and in battles and show of force, they made sure that the agents of chaos in our land, the genocides, were put to the run. From Abui military district, Donga, Boyo, right up to Mezam, Momo, Manu, Meme, Fako. I want to commend our forces, commend them on their strength of character, the sacrifices that they offer our land, a sacrifice that the nation of Ambazonia will forever be grateful. A debt we owe them that can never be repaid. Now, we know the reaction of a wounded, bloody, humiliated Ngong Dok. We know what that reaction will be. To change the narrative of what occurred to them on 11th of February, La République du Cameroon and their treacherous mouthpieces within the Ambazonian community mounted a Pinyin uprising. I have seen images of Ambazonians being burnt and populations being instigated in pinning all to try and change the narrative of the humiliation that La République suffered in front of its citizens and the world on the 11th of February. because they were discovered that the king had no pants, and that what was underneath it was not even worth the small finger. They went and instigated the massacre of Ambazonians in order to cover this humiliation. While the investigation is going on, that I have asked our forces on the ground to carry out, let me be clear. The use of Ambazonian community to undermine the Ambazonian struggle is a crime against the Ambazonian nation. Let me be clear. All the funds or chiefs or quarter heads or people in positions, executive, social, community wise in these communities, all of the leaders bear a responsibility not to allow their communities to be used for a propaganda victory for La République du Cameroon. If any community is being used as such, it is the place of these leaders, from the funds to the quarterheads, to come out and be very clear in contradicting the narratives being put out by La République du Cameroon agents. It will not be members of the Ambazonian liberation movement. It will not be the leaders of the Ambazonian nation. The communities themselves, the leaders in those communities, must come out and put their hands up that they are not part of this propaganda, and the propaganda being put out does not reflect what is happening in those communities. Because if any community raise its hands on people who have given their lives for their nation, they will not be spared. They will not. They will not be spared. Not now, not in the future. So if something has happened in your community and it is being used to divert attention or to undermine the Ambazonian struggle, get in front of that as community leaders and be very clear in disavowing yourself from the narrative of the genociders and the occupiers. Otherwise, we will take their words as truth and the repercussions will be unbearable. My fellow Ambazonians, The fight for our freedom is a fight that we all, every single one of us, put our hands up and offered our lives for our nation. At this particular moment, the Norwegians, whose history reflect being cozy to Nazis and genocides, whose natural instinct is to side with mass murderers for their gains, as they put their ships to transport slaves out of Africa, continued with using eugenics to wipe out the Semitic population, continued with cozying up with the Nazis against the Jews, and today they are cozying up with La République du Cameroon against the Ambazonian people by detaining the leader of the Ambazonian liberation struggle. I bring that up to remind the Ambazonian people of what the leader has always said. We are in the battles for our lives. We are the never again generation. A generation that will never, ever, ever falter. No matter who goes down. Whether the CIC goes down, whether the deaf chair goes down, whether the VP goes down, the SGs, whether General Ivo goes down, or General Ginyam, or Smalley goes down, or General Weapon, or General JC, we are that never again generation who we don't falter, who cry out in the night that soldier come, soldier go, but barrack remains. Who are the man in the arena, who even though we stumble, we know high the triumph and the despair, who understand that no people have ever been defeated in the land of their birth, no matter their opponent, whether it was Goliath, whether it was the Soviet Union, the US, no matter what, Great Britain, every single instance, the people have risen up and defeated the oppressors in the land of their birth, and the Ambazonian people will not be the first to fail. I see a very, very favorous 2025. No matter the heartaches, no matter the depths of losses, the Ambazonian people on 1st October, on 11th of February, and every single day in between have demonstrated a resiliency, a strength of character, a steadfastness, a wall that is undefeated, undefeatable. A strength born out of more than 50 years of La République du Cameroon brutality and crimes against humanity. A strength forged in fire. And my fellow Ambazonians, we who are left standing can do no more than to carry the batons of those that have fallen and mark greater strength, greater determination. We have achieved the landmarks that we put in place. We have increased the cost of occupation until we have broken the back of our enemy, of La République du Cameroon. We have internationalized the struggle until we are invited to sit at the table of the inauguration of the oldest superpower on earth today, the inauguration of its president. We have achieved set marks for ourselves and gone beyond that. What is left is for us to finish the struggle. Ambazonians, I'm looking at you directly and I am assuring you what is left is for you to make the final commitment, and this year we finish the struggle. If you don't believe me, believe your lying eyes if they lie to you. Just a week ago or so, La République du Cameroon launched the recruitment of another class of genocidaires to send into Ambazonia. But that is not the most important thing you should take away, that they are on their last legs and are looking for 1,000 more corpses to send into our land. That is not the takeaway here. The takeaway, Ambazonian, is that these people instituted a genocide tax for these recruits that will be entering, for these 1,000 genocidaires that they are recruiting. They put a genocide tax of about 23 to 30,000, that each of these I call them corpses, will have to pay in order to be recruited as genocidaires and further to be sent into Ambazonia with the aim to brutalize our people, burn more villages, and extort our land. So think about that. You would think that an army pays you to come in, but these are ways that they are so bankrupt that they are using any crooked ways to extort their own people, not only in wealth but in lives. So just imagine 10,000 people applied in La République du Cameroon, and each of them are expected to pay, between 25 and 30,000 at the initial phase. How much money will the treasury of La République du Cameroon have raised to continue their war of genocide in Ambazonia? And these fools will not be paid. They will go and be stealing cassava and cocoyams from the mouth of our people, kidnapping and extorting ransoms from our people in order for them to eat and feed their family. But that is what your liberation fighters, Ambazonians, face on the ground. So La République instituted their genocide tax, recruiting 1,000 genocidaires. What are we as Ambazonians going to do as a response? We already have our liberation tax. Have you paid? Have your family paid? Have your kids paid? Have you drawn the cousins to pay? That is what we are facing on the other side. On the 22nd, this coming weekend, the Ambazonian people will be gathering in a town hall to raise funds. So if one of them is asked to put down 25 to join their genocidal army, can we as Ambazonians use a fundraiser and say we are going to raise $25,000 as a response to that? The Canada mission will be running this town hall to raise funds for our liberation for the state of Ambazonia. It is an obligation that every Ambazonian join this town hall, this forum, and participate as we show our resolve and our answer to La République du Cameroon. As we join to thank our forces for implementing the lockdown, as we uphold not only them, but recognize how high our flag flew on February 11. We have a goal in hand, a goal to respond to La République du Cameroon, but also to respond to the state of Ambazonia. Let us go away reminding ourselves that we, our forces, have always reminded you that this was never going to be a walk in the park. That we would sacrifice and might even go as far as sacrificing ourselves, our firstborns, our everything for the liberation of our land. Don't ever stumble, no matter how hard the road is, for the darkest hour of the night is just before dawn. May God bless you. May God bless the Ambazonian nation.
here in a nation flowing rivers of holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.